Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Business to Business Marketing Communication, Chapter number 13, Part 2. After reading this part, you should be able to describe the factors that impact the marketing communication mix, explain the use of models in business to business communication, and lastly, understand the role of company website. Introduction. As you know, this chapter is about ways of communicating in business to business markets. The major difference between B2B and consumer marketing communication is the lack of mass media for businesses. Consumer marketing communications are heavily dominated by internet, television, radio, and press advertising. But business to business advertising is less likely to use these media due to the much smaller number of buyers involved. Mental readjustment. Obviously, new information does not always change attitudes. Is the inconsistency between the existing attitude and evidence brought about by reality increases. There will come a point where the individual buyer needs to reevaluate the attitude and go through the mental readjustment to restore stability. This can come about through three main mechanisms: stimulus rejection, attitude splitting, accommodating the new attitudes. Mental readjustment. Stimulus rejection. The individual discounts the new information or rejects it entirely. This can easily come about if the new information is presented by an incompetent salesperson who manages to come across as unreliable. Mental readjustment. The second factor is attitude splitting. This involves only accepting that part of the new information which does not cause an inconsistency. The individual might accept that the new information is true, but the firm's own circumstances are exceptional. And the third factor is accommodating the new attitude. So essentially this means accepting the new attitude in its entirety. Developing the marketing communications program. In order to devise a marketing communication program which will meet the need of the firm, the steps shown in figure 13.4 should be followed. First, as can be seen from the figure, marketing communication objectives must be completely congruent with the overall corporate objectives and the marketing objectives of the firm. Some managers make the errors of setting marketing communication objectives in imprecise terms. For example, some have offered objectives such as help the sales force increase market share considerably or find new distributors in the European Union, etc. Developing the marketing communication program. A marketing communication manager who offers these kinds of objectives will be at a disadvantage after she has spent the budget because it will be unclear whether the objectives have been met. Marketing communication objectives should therefore be measurable. For example, increase market share for high-power semiconductors from 7 to 10% in the transportation market segment, or develop 10 new distributors in European Union for financial software products. Marketing channels. Developing the marketing communication program, as it is obvious in this 13.4 figure that I was discussing with you, that corporate objectives and marketing objectives must be aligned. Role of advertising in B2B. Advertising is a non-personal communication. Instead, inserted in a medium. Advertising is a non-personal communication inserted in a medium. This means that it is not personal selling or word of mouth communication or messages on t-shirts. It is characterized by its impersonal quality and by its own way by its own way approach. It is not interactive except in very limited way. So when we look into the role of advertising in the B2B, it creates a favorable climate for personal selling. It can reach inaccessible buying influences. It can reach unknown buying influences. It can generate leads for salesperson. It can supplement field sales communication. It can inform channel intermediaries. It can stimulate derived demand. It can project a favorable corporate image, and it can provide an economical promotional mix. So these are all the roles of advertising in B2B that a firm can utilize, or that a firm can take advantage of the advertising. Direct response advertising. Direct response advertising involves communication from the selling company to the purchasing company in a personalized and often tailored manner. The intention of direct response advertising is to open a dialogue between buyer and seller, so the medium needs to communicate effectively. Direct response advertising opens a dialogue between buyer and seller, is tailored to the recipient, is easily monitored and controlled, especially using computers, and it must be carefully targeted. Databases monitoring effectiveness. Direct response advertising's main appeal is that it is easily monitored and controlled. Databases help the monitoring process in the following ways: tracking responses, recording speed of fulfillment of sale, tracking responses in different sectors, comparing conversion rates to response rates, assessing the effectiveness of media in reaching the target audiences, comparing response levels in different media, recording computer data captured during the campaign. Standardization versus adaptation. Obviously, marketing managers prefer standardization to adaptation. It is far less expensive to produce a single advertisement, publication, or website than to develop specific version for multiple markets. However, few companies are able to standardize across their target markets. Most managers need to look carefully at each element of the marketing mix for possible standardization, but must be ready to adapt to maximize the chances for the success in any particular market. There are four basic strategies for international communication as given below. Some same product and same communication is a very simple strategy, but when a company is going to do for standardization, they can use the same product and they can use same communication for the same product. Same product, different communication is a bit more challenging than the first strategy. And then different products, same communication. And the last strategy is different products, different communication. So these are the four options available to a company when a company is operating in international market. Either it is dealing with standardized products or adapted products. Integrate marketing communication. Marketing managers in B2B has to integrate the marketing communication, either it is in B2B or B2C. So with the integration of marketing communication, there can be greater consistency. In greater consistency increases impact, and communications reinforce each other. People respond differently to different media. Companies can have economies of scale, and members of the organization become clearer about organizational aims. So all these advantages a company can gain with the help of integrated marketing communications. Difficulties with integration. Where there are some advantages, obviously there are some difficulties as well. Difficulties with delivering the corporate message. Definitely it will be difficult for the company to deliver a corporate message with IMC. Employees might not deliver the corporate message. Globally, firms will need to adapt the message for different cultures, and communication is not a magic bullet. So these are the factors which a company must consider when it is going for IMC, integrated marketing communication. Establishing a successful website. For a successful website, an organization must have clear objectives from the outset. The website must be informative website. It must have simple graphics. The impact of communication should not depend entirely on graphics. It must be aligned with, I would say that, it must be joined with more information. The site should set up to gather information from visitors, encourage interactivity through sales promotions, offers, competitions, and fast hyperlinks must be provided on the website. So these are some factors which can make the company's website successful. Summary. In this chapter, we have discussed several factors about the promotion, about the communication in B2B. So business buyers actively seek information. Communication is a cooperative process. Soft communications are those that buyer look for. Unsoft communications are those that sellers send out. Attitude consists of cognition, connection, and affect. Attitude change begins by changing one of these. So cognitive dissonance causes breakdowns in communication. Business buyers rarely buy as a result of advertising alone. There are some other factors that company has to consider. Direct mail must be carefully targeted. The main trade-off in international communication is whether to standardize or customize. Thank you. That's all for this chapter. Thank you.